also wrote The Lessons of History, very brief, 100-page book, in which he said, well, history proves that, unfortunately and unhappily, Jesus Christ has no advantage over Genghis Khan. Because if you are strong enough, ruthless enough, powerful enough, evil will overcome good. Aggression will overcome moderation.
Millionaire thoughts, billionaire dreams. I know niggas who played ball and gave it up for lean.
Millionaire thoughts, billionaire dreams, but my account in overdraft, I'm about to scream.
Rich man greed,
A poor man prayers,
every man bleeds.
but look how God made us.
Too many losses, it's only right that we win. I made a promise I'm never gonna lose again. Lose again, lose again, lose again, lose again, lose again.
Under the Fair Use Act, these videos are for information and educational purposes, and I do not own the rights to any of these videos that are shown. All rights reserved to the original content creators.
Yo, what's going on? It's your boy SL 550, and this is the Never Gonna Lose Again podcast. Yo, man, before we start, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Help your boy on the road to 1K subscribers. Also, hit that notification bell so you get notified every time your boy go live. Today, man, we gonna tap in with Brian Maxwell talking about some fraud being exposed and in Chicago, of course, another Democratic state, and you know, he gets into how USAID and pretty much your tax money, our money, was being funneled, which we already knew because Elon Musk already exposed this, and he'll get into that. But you know, our money was being used to be funneled to create, you know, ISIS and Al Qaeda and all these extremist Muslim organizations, right? So, and then it goes perfectly into the next video with the Hodgetwins and Alex Jones. They did a simulcast together, and great video. They went into a lot of things. You could tell this is just truly how they feel about what's going on, and they discuss about how Trump pretty much is, you know, doing this whole 180 thing. He was, you know, obviously on the right course. I supported Trump. But like I tell people, man, this is why you cannot get stuck on a party. You know what I mean? Because when you do that, then anything that a Republican does and you're a Republican, you're stuck with agreeing with, whether you disagree or not. You know what I mean? And you just stuck on this whole thing and you can't really see and take your blinders off and you know, give an honest opinion on certain things that's going on. And I respect this video that they did because they said a lot of things that I have already said, and I'm happy to hear somebody else that actually agrees with my point of view on this whole Iran war, because it's a war, bro. I don't care how they try to water it down, you know, because Trump does that a lot. He tries to water things down, and he wants America to look big and strong, as he should. But the fact of the matter is, bro, this is a situation that we shouldn't be in right now as America. We have already had too much going on, you know, and we already see with N.G.L.A and all of the fraud that's being exposed in California and Minnesota and so forth, and with all these politicians, bro, that are being paid. It's so much going on, man. And you know, I kind of have a mirrored view on Donald Trump. You know, I feel as though I don't know how, I don't know why. And this is the thing, like even, you know, the Hodge twins and Alex Jones, like motherfuckers that's actually been in this space for a while, and you know, they have you know, a big following, especially Alex Jones. Alex Jones, well known, you know, one of the biggest journalists in America who, you know, they want to try to make look crazy and like he's a lunatic, but really, you know, this guy be known. He knows what's going on, bro. I said this before. Alex Jones is well connected, bro. Well connected, bro. Well connected with people that are in, you know, deep in the government and things like that. So he don't just be talking out his ass, man. So yeah, it's a good one today, man. Sheesh, man, oh man, and it hurts, bro. It hurts, man, because and don't get into all that. You know what? Let's just get into it. We gonna talk about it, man.
I know I asked you this question, I think, last week, but obviously Springfield money is not going to come through in the next 24 hours. So what? I mean, don't you feel at this point cuts even in the class?
Oh yeah, real quick. I forgot. I forgot that before I ran the intro. Did you hear the comments that BB made? Like, this is the disrespect, the total disrespect that these people have for Christians, and to actually see Christians go to bat for Israel and these Jews is crazy to me, bro. Like, to even compare Jesus Christ to anybody and say that he is lesser than anybody. You know what I mean? Like any human being on the planet, like in history, is crazy to me. And you would never see a Muslim do that. You'll never see a Muslim do that, bro. Just wanted to throw that out there real quick. I just wanted to play that because these people get up here and they fake it. They act like they care about Christians, right? Because that's what America is. It's mainly a Christian country, and they act like these people act like they care about Christians, and they don't, and they blatantly don't. In your face, disrespectful. You know what I mean? And people need to wake up, man, to what's really going on. Well, let's get back to
Some are inevitable given the close to $1 billion budget deficit.
it. Brandon Johnson,
Well, look, again, it's
biggest fraud in
really about
Chicago.
what our ultimate vision is, right? And we don't want any cuts to the classroom.
Typical Democrat. They don't want any cuts anywhere. Democrats just want to spend, spend, spend. They don't believe you should cut any programs. Do you know that the biggest drag on our economy is not wars or anything like that? It's actually welfare. The subsidy programs, those are
Yeah,
the
I can
biggest
believe that.
drain on society. Now, no politician wants to touch that because they know the other side will use it as a political football and as a political bomb, grenade, and it will just totally turn them off to too large of a group of people for anybody to actually do any serious economic reform. In order for there to be true economic reform in this country, we have to get people off of the government programs and get people into jobs. The welfare system is actually the biggest drain and the worst thing that can happen to a nation. Because when people become dependent upon that rather than getting out and working and being productive and for being tax contributors to the system,
Yep.
the system starts to fall apart. The system only works well when everybody's contributing. But then when you got socialist Democrats saying, hey, listen, we should be able to take from those that do and give to those that don't want to do, which creates discontent.
Yep.
And that's how you lead to civil unrest and civil war.
And this is how you create socialists who blame everybody for their position in life. You know what I mean? That's a fact. And it doesn't help. Like, it doesn't help. Like, this is like a generational curse pretty much at this point, like where they just pass down this whole welfare idea as if it's helping, but you really aren't going anywhere. You're just standing still. You're being stagnant. When you're on welfare, you're just being stagnant. You know what I'm saying? There's people that, take advantage of it, and I think it's a tool that could be used, but let's be honest, bro. It's too many people that's on welfare and there's a lot of them that just shouldn't be on it at all. And they want us to be slaves, bro. They don't care, bro. And I say this about Republican and Democrats, but I'll say more so Democrats, bro. These people do not care about us whatsoever. They want to tax the shit out of us, bro. And we see what this clown is doing in Chicago. The stuff that he's doing, bro, is unreal, man. And they like to always remember, bro, they're always going to project. That's number one. But they're going to put, you know, these ideas out there, and they sound cool. They sound, like, what? Dang, we're gonna get this. It's gonna be free, 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 and they always, paint this whole picture of we're gonna tax the rich. We're gonna tax the rich. We're gonna tax the rich, and uh, it's just not gonna happen, bro. It's not gonna happen. It's always gonna come down to you paying more money. And we're the ones hurting, bro. We're the ones hurting. All of these millionaires and billionaires who got the game, who have the lawyers to be able to um beat the system. Because I don't call it cheating because they learned the game and they play it well. And shit, I applaud them because I'm trying to play the game. I'm trying to get in the game. You know what I mean? Like I want to play the game. I want to learn the game. That's why information is key. And without it, you're gonna be on welfare, dog. Like if you don't want to try to get up out of that system. It's a broken system, bro. Like, come on, bro. Black communities have been hurting for decades now, bro. Decades. Decades. And the biggest component to it is not having a father in the home, bro. And I play videos on welfare and how it's hurting the black communities, but hey, we keep voting for it.
which is what the Democrats want anyway. But he's saying, oh, I don't want any cuts. But guess what? It's going to be impacting the worst. The children's education. He's not going to take it away from the teachers union that he already gave $1.5 billion to the teachers union.
That's
And Chicago
crazy.
has the worst rated schools in the country.
Just think
Go
about
figure. They've got the largest contribution in the worst school, worst education system.
Yo, just think about that. That's in America, period, though. Like, we have the worst, literally one of the worst, not gonna say the worst, but one of the worst educational systems, bro. And we spend the most money on education, and we're not doing nothing but failing the people. That's it. Because it's not even education, bro. It's literally programming at this point, bro. No one's getting an education anymore, bro. It's literally programming. That's all. We need you to be a Democrat, and we're going to put everything in your face to make you become a fucking, communist socialist. Like, that's all it's about, bro. It's programming at its highest level, bro.
I believe that somebody, and this is my opinion, this is all alleged, but I believe they got something on Brandon Johnson. He must have been with a underage person, with an animal, because the way he caters gets bullied and is getting what do you call that? When blackmail, held hostage by the teachers union is laughable.
And all of our options will be on the table so that we can ensure that we're making the progress that's put us in a much better position with our outcomes. Let me just say that whether it shows up in 24 hours or not, this is not about just the life of one budget. This is about the future of our public education system. And as Democrats, we all have to come together to ensure that we're standing up for working people. In fact, when the ESSER dollars ran out, there was a push to demand that the president actually shows up for working people across America. Had the ESSER dollars been extended, we would have $1 billion surplus, right? So it's the resources and the money is there. It's a matter of having the political fortitude to actually exercise that power. So I hear your question. I actually appreciate it that it's not going to show up within 24 hours, but it not showing up in 24 hours does not absolve the state's responsibility to ensure that it comes. And since there is, real uniformity around our vision for working families in the city of Chicago and throughout the state of Illinois, it is crucial and incumbent upon us to deliver on the good of education.
If you paid attention to what he just said a whole lot of nothing except for, hey, if President Trump and the administration would have gave us more federal dollars, we'd be in $1 billion surplus. So in other words, hey, if they'd have gave us $1 billion, we'd be in the surplus, meaning we don't have it. We need the federal government to keep giving us money so we can continue to do what Democrats do, which is throw money at a bad problem to take it from bad to worse, from worse to terrible. No. Threw money at homelessness, it got worse. Throwing money at mental health, people seem more deranged and more depressed every day that are Democrats. Do you know therapists say that 70 to 80% of their patients are Democrats? Ain't that crazy? But it's due to hearing crap like this, believing in people like this, and having to sell yourself on the fact that you believe that empty BS he just said is for your benefit. Word. When you're watching your taxes go up, your streets get less safe.
Everything.
You're seeing it. Your neighborhoods being more overcrowded, your wait times at the local hospital getting longer, medical costs going up. All because
and off topic real quick, bro. Things are not getting better, bro. Even in the black community, it's getting bro, it's 10, maybe even 100 times worse, bro. I've seen videos now, like And then like it wasn't never this bad, bro. Growing up, bro, motherfuckers fist fight, you get into shit. But bro, you see motherfuckers now. I seen a video where young boys was on the beach. You go to the beach to, you know what I mean, get in the ocean, you know what I mean, to talk to some women, have fun. You go to the beach to have fun. Niggas is on the boardwalk with clutching guns on the boardwalk, just walking around. You just mad at life. God damn, bro. And the thing is, this is why I always ask this question. Like, if I told you the life you live in ain't the life you chose, would you believe me? And I ask that question because it's the truth. A lot of people are walking around believing that the life that they're living is the life that they chose for themselves. If you ask a child, right, what they want to be when they grow up, most of them will say, regular things, a doctor, a firefighter, a police officer, these type of things, right? Logical things that they really believe as a child. It's not until they're taught and programmed and they see their environment and they see like right now with like the music industry. I love music. Like I love it. But let's be honest, bro, it's not the main component, but it's a partial component into why it's a whole lot of killing going on, and it's black on black, bro, and it's out of control. And I say that it's a little off topic, but I say that because these Democrat policies, the way the Democrats uh, uh are just could be because I didn't show this whole video, but in the beginning of this video, he was explaining how he was basically all this is basically talking about how they're so-called starting these programs and putting money in these programs that are so-called going to help the community, right? And they had like these ex-felons who were, I guess, supposed to be like local leaders. They're like ex-felons. They know they know the hood, they know the streets. So they're supposed to be given back by trying to reform the city or whatever the case may be. But these dudes were still in the streets. They still was doing shit, and did some bad things. And these Democrat policies were still allowing these people to get out and do the things they were doing. Like, bro, I seen it with my own eyes, bro. I've been to prison. I've been to jail. Like, I swear to God, wallahi, bro. In 2020, I came home 2022. I got locked up. I did a little bit. At the end of 2019, I got locked back up. Went back to the county to fight a case some bullshit case that I ended up catching. I talked about it in one of the previous videos. But during that time, I remember when I first initially went to the county jail, right? I was like, yeah, because I was on parole violation, so I was only there for 24 hours. So I went straight back to prison. But when I was in there, everybody was talking about man, I'll be out on Monday. I'm talking about they got dope charges. Like, mind you, I come from an era where you get locked up with a bundle, you going down. Like, you get locked up with some dope, you going downstate pretty much. Now, motherfuckers they didn't change the laws to where people were, it's this whole point system thing, which I don't think is it's like one of them things that is there to be a positive, but really it's a negative. When we talk about street motherfuckers, like, because now motherfuckers like, yo, I'm getting out on Monday. And I'm like, what? How are you getting out? And then come to find out, uh, they changed the law to where basically now everything is on a point system. So a lot of people that was getting locked up for drug charges and things like that, and I think even like gun charges in some cases, was getting right out. They was getting OR'd. You know what I mean? Because the jails was filled and people were just they kept getting locked up. So now they racking up more charges because they're like, I'm getting out. I'm getting out. So that's what these people are doing. They were going to jail, and it's all Democrat policies, bro. Like, people are getting out of jail, and it's just worse, bro. It's just all of this stuff is just they don't care, bro. They do not care, bro. They want crime to get worse. They need it to get worse. They want people to be poor. They don't care about you. They don't care about us. They just want your money. That's it. That's all these politicians give a fuck about. Keep taking our money. That's the name of the game. Keep taking our money. And they'll find all these reasons to spend it, bro. And this is why every year everything always goes up. The debt goes up. Everything goes up because they're constantly throwing money at everything as if that's going to solve the problem. And it's not. And I can't wait. We about to get into this whole, Trump thing with Alex Jones and the Hodgetwins. Hope the video plays through too. Sometimes a lot of some content creators don't let you play their content. Totally understand, but some do. So I'm hoping. I think I played the Hodgetwins winner before. I ain't had no problems. But this was Alex Jones in them, and I think I play Alex Jones too. Ain't had no issues, so we'll see. Hopefully, we won't have no issues, man. Because it was a great, great video. Made a lot of great points, that I could relate to, that I understand, and we won't get into it. But let's finish up with this video.
You don't want to seem like you're a bad person by saying no. We don't want them to die. We want them to be good, but be good over there in your country. Put America first. And people like Brandon Johnson and J.B. Pritzker, Kamala Harris, Gavin Newsom, and those people are a detriment and a danger to this country. So I just wanted to bring you this video to let you see exactly what's going on with the money. As a matter of fact, I do have one more clip, and it's of Congressman Tim Burchett. Listen to what he's.
I like Tim Burchett. He be putting shit out there. I think he's a good politician for the most part. Things that I've seen, he seems solid. He seems like he'd be trying to get to the truth of things and really trying to expose truths. And this video that he's about to play is going to get us right into this next one with the Hodgetwins and Alex Jones.
He says, check this out.
We are sending currently $40 million a week to the Taliban in Afghanistan. There's around 1,000 of these NGOs that are created. And what happens is some billionaire Soros-esque kind of person puts money in an account, $1 million. Some unelected bureaucrat in Washington, D.C. sees that, and it's got a great name like, Feed the Starving Children or something. So, and they start funding them. Elon Musk told me, and I have no reason to doubt it, we probably put close to $1 trillion of your tax dollars into these things. And then it flows into the pockets of terrorists, and man, they will hate us for free. We don't need to be paying the Taliban $40 million a week, but the president's aware of it. And last week, the Senate Democrats blocked the bill on the Senate floor, if you can imagine that. And you got to wonder where their loyalties are. They don't care if they burn this dadgum country down. All they want is to get their money to fund, because their wives and or their girlfriends, or possibly both, are probably employed by some of these NGOs. We could better start watching this. If we're sending $40 million a week to the Taliban, dadgum, and the Somalis are ripping us off over there, it's all over the country. We better start paying attention.
You heard?
Yeah. Shout out to Brian Maxwell. Bringing a good video. Let's see, we got to get straight into it, man, with the Hodgetwins, because that was a great setup. So basically, he's saying that they're spending $40 million a week of our money. This is what our money is going to, bro. This is what people need to understand, and understand what you're voting for and how important it is, bro. Because elections aren't going away no time soon. These things are here to stay. So the only thing that we can do is really try to put people in place that's and hold people accountable. And more importantly, bro, niggas really need to come together to get rid of money inside the elections, bro. That's the real problem, bro, is that people are being bought and paid for, bro. Period. All these people like Brandon Johnson, Jasmine Crow, all of them on the Republican side too, they're being bought and paid for, bro. Whoever got the biggest bag is going to get into the White House or get into these Senate seats and things like that, bro. They're bought and paid for. What are you willing to do for these billionaire elite people who are evil, bro? And not all of them are evil. You know what I'm saying? But it's just a lot of them that are, bro. And they don't give two shits about America, bro. Most of them don't even live in this country, who are funding, we've seen it with, extreme Muslims and, China and, these people who are funding, journalists, who are funding politicians in America to, cripple this country, bro. This is not America first, bro. I'm going to tell you that. And it's because a lot of our politicians have been compromised. But let's get into it. Hodgetwins, Alex Jones. This was a great video. I shortened it just a little bit because it's not super long, but it's a long video. I was going to play the whole thing, but I didn't want to take all of their content. But they talk some good shit. And if you want to check out the whole video, I'm going to link it in the description. Let's get into it.
Not stopping.
Yeah, these are different breed of people. There's not transgenders walking around in that society. This is a society full of real men. Yeah. These are men. That society is a theocracy. They're very close to how the Old Testament, how they lived back then. Yeah. This is not like an American a bunch of transgenders they hit in the army, and all the women are becoming OnlyFans models. It's like, I mean, let me ask you this, Alex. Fox News, they always try to implicate that Muslims are our enemy, that the Nation of Islam is a threat to the United States. I don't actually believe that. I don't think none of that is true. You was going to say something? No. Yeah, that's what's being fed to us. I mean, why do Iran, people of Islam, of that faith, Muslims, why are they our enemy? It's only because of our relationship with Israel. If it wasn't for Israel, we'd have a entire different relationship with the Muslims. Yeah, I want to say this. Like when Trump and like the boomers on the right, his supporters on the right, you think we can just go in there and destroy the army and that's how you're going to win the war? That's not the same war that Iran is fighting. They want to destroy the economy. World economy. The world economy. And they don't have to win. They don't have to win the war. They just have to destroy our economy. And they win. And they keep saying they have a regime change there. Regime change means absolutely nothing because their culture will live on regardless of who's in power there. Yeah,
well, that's in the assessment, but you guys raised something. We got a whole other hour coming up here in a moment. We'll break. I know you guys aren't really taking breaks, so you're welcome just to go live on your stream during there. We were having some fun during the last break because I thought we were simulcasting and you guys were live during the breaks. But I've actually studied the sociology, the anthropology, the archaeology, the history of all of this, and the different factions. And you could teach a triple PhD in it. And I'm not saying I have that, but it would take a triple PhD to understand it all and the history of it. But Islam was very barbarous and a real death cult set up by Muhammad. And then it got stopped by the Crusades and pushed back. The Crusades were a response to 700 years of attacks. That was long before Israel was around, modern Israel. Israel had been around since 70 AD. That's when Titus, the Roman general, sacked and destroyed Jerusalem and tore down the temple, the second temple they want to rebuild. The first one was, of course, Solomon. And the second one got destroyed in 70 AD by Titus, the order of Emperor Pompeo. They want to rebuild the third temple where the Dome of the Rock is right now. So this is all so well documented in history. It's a huge subject, but just the Crusades were a response to 700 years of war. They almost took Poland. They took much of the Serbia and all that. They kidnapped at least 5 million, mainly women, out of Spain. They took 90% of Spain for 500, 600 years. Only the Moors survived up in the north in the mountains. And they're actually basically Neanderthals, weren't the only group in the world, but long story. So
he said the Moors were up in the mountains. Yo, it's just certain things. Listen, great video, a lot of good topics, but I'll be honest, Alex Jones don't know what he's talking about as far as the history. Number one, bro, our history in America has been whitewashed like a motherfucker, bro. That's number one. So history is his story in America. That's a fact. Now, when it comes to Islam, and one of the reasons why I love Islam is it's backed by evidence. It goes so far back, bro. I'm talking about, names, people's memories, everything. Well documented. Islam history is well documented, bro. Well documented. It's not like, for example, we love Jesus, and peace be upon him, like with a lot of things that Jesus did, right? It's no evidence to back it. It's just the word and that's it. It's no evidence like, hey, such and such, because the Bible, a lot of the authors in the Bible aren't even, they weren't even there with Jesus. You know what I'm saying? They weren't there. Like in the Quran and in Hadith and things like that, like, Hadiths, a lot of the um, people like Aisha and them, they were there. They were there with the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They were there with him, and everything is like a first-hand account. It's not like, it's just, with the Bible, a lot of the stories are from unknown authors. You know what I'm saying? and so there isn't no real firsthand accounts of things that Jesus did. You feel me? And we know that the Bible, there's books that aren't, there's certain Bibles that have more and less books and things like that. So to say that this is well documented is not true. Alex Jones is not, it's not true. What I'm saying is a lot of this stuff it is documented in somewhere in the world. Like that, like as Muslims, we believe like this, right? We believe like, and the reason why we read all the books, right? Is because we do believe some of the things that are in there. We believe that some things, if it aligns with the Quran, then we believe in it, right? But we believe that all of these books have been tampered with by man, and it's been proven that they have been. You know what I mean? And Christians, even Christian scholars, even say this. So this is not a secret, bro. You know what I mean? And I believe somewhere, maybe this is not a somewhere hidden in the vault somewhere, and that only certain specific people know about. You know what I'm saying? Who don't want people to know the truth and follow the truth. They have this evidence somewhere. But I just wanted to make that distinction real quick. Like, you know, Alex Jones is very smart, very good at what he does. But on this topic, he makes some valid points. But overall, his assessment, calling Islam a death cult and all that stuff that's a lie.
So
Straight
you
lie.
have that
Complete
going
lie.
on.
Complete lie.
And so in the modern parlance, yes, what stirred up the Muslims and helped fund.
I think it's not, him like blatantly trying to be. I just think it's ignorance. Like he doesn't really know. You know what I mean? Like, and his accounts is based off books that he has read. As a Christian. You know what I'm saying? So most of these Christians aren't reading. And it's why I like the Hodge twins too. Like I just want to put this out there too. I like the Hodge twins because I align with them as far as and not just because they agree with how I think. I'm just saying, like, as far as they're putting things out there that they truly feel. It's not because I'm a Christian, I'm gonna say this, or I'm gonna go against this because it doesn't align with my belief system. Like how they said that that they don't really believe that Islam and Muslims are our enemies. That we only became enemies with them is because of Israel, and that's the truth. It's just the truth. It's just what it is, bro. It's just what it is.
They're more, I don't call them radical because really they're Orthodox Muslims. There was a major reform after the Crusades of the Muslims.
But he
A lot
does
of their
say some
expansion
interesting things in here
slowed.
that I believe.
And then even up until the 70s and 80s, it was rock and roll, Playboy magazine, most of the places. I'm not saying that's a good thing, but you know what I mean. It was reformed in most areas, and it was integrating, and it kind of had a reformation. But the CIA, with British intelligence, even before that, started funding all the Muslims and the most radical groups, starting, well, the British about 120 years ago, but the U.S. after World War II. And so it's beyond, if it wasn't for Israel, if it wasn't for British intelligence and the U.S. and then the Israelis picking up on it, creating, Israel created Hamas. You guys know that, right?
Right.
Yeah, and then
right.
Jimmy Carter, Al Qaeda, all that,
Right.
and then and then Reagan Mujahideen. So
look, he says that. He says, Israel created Hamas, right? Now, tell me how, like, listen, bro, 1 + 1 = 2 all the time. So now when you look back to the video I showed not too long ago with Charlie Kirk saying how, he been to Israel. It's airtight. And basically saying it's hard for him to believe that that Hamas was able to do what they did on October 7th, which what they're saying is these people have been funded for decades now. So Al Qaeda, ISIS, Hamas, all of these, extreme radical Islamic groups, these are all bought and paid for people who are, for the right amount of money are willing to, go on these dummy missions or manipulate. Because, a lot of this stuff be like forced. Like it be people like, that's why you ever see like, they even portray it in movies how like, so-called Muslim who was, well, Muslim that, is Allahu Akbar and blow themselves up, right? But they're like sweating profusely and they're just, like you're scared, like, you know what I mean? And that's because they were forced to. If they didn't do it, their family would be killed, type of thing. So it's that type of things that have been going on. So for people to act like, oh, but Muslims believe they're going to be, have 77 virgin wives when they die if they do this, that, and the third. Man, get out of here. Get out of here, bro. But this stuff is deep. But I do believe that a lot of these terror groups, right? These, you know, extremists are bought and paid for, bro. And these big events that happen, like October 7th, it isn't an organic situation, bro. Like when you hear that, tell me, like, that doesn't make you mad, right? That you think that, these people are just they just it's the hate for Israel and Jews, and they did this and this and that to the Jews, and and then come to find out, you hear that Israel was actually funding these people, right? Like it's deep, bro.
Fully
It's deep.
classified. And
It's crazy.
so the problem is the people driving Islam were put in by the globalist to now create this clash. We'll be back in 2 minutes with the Hodge twins. If they want me to keep going, I'll explain it because it's all on record. All right, I want to ask the Hodge twins this before we join some stages of 6th Avenue, and I'll finish up with my brief history lesson. And I have some interesting clips. I just so happen to have in the stack today. We've got former top counterterrorism official John Loftus and military expert on how the CIA is really run by the British intelligence, then the Nazis took it over in World War II, and then by British intelligence in the U.S., and now by Israel. Of course, he was like the number 2 in counterterrorism, John Loftus. I want to kind of explain that to people that it's pretty sophisticated. But let me ask you guys this question. It's paradoxical. Again, I'm really upset with Trump. I'm trying to get him back on course. More and more, I don't think it's going to happen. Israel's literally trying a domestic takeover, not just foreign stuff that they admit they are, making incredibly dangerous statements of threatening people, saying we're Nazis and all this. What do we do about the Democrats, though? Like, what's going to happen if they win the midterms or if they get back in the White House in 2.5 years?
Yeah.
I'm afraid that this war is going to go so bad. We're going to lose the midterms, but we're going to lose it so bad that we're going to lose the House and the Senate. And if that happens, if Democrats have the votes, not only will they impeach him, they will remove him from office. Yeah. And if they have that amount of power, what will they then do? Yeah. I mean,
Yo, I got this theory. Almost, right? That I think that there are people who are setting Donald Trump up to fail, bro. Because think about it, bro. For the first year and some change, Donald Trump was pretty much on course, bro, to his message that he ran with, things that he ran on, exposing, USAID and with Elon and all with Doge and all the fraud, and draining the swamp and exposing politicians and all of this stuff that was going on, right? Prices started lowering, gas started lowering. Like just not even a month ago, a month and a half ago, gas was down to 260. Like it was down to 260, bro. Now it's right back up, shot right back up because of this war. And I have this theory that, and this is just my opinion, that they are purposefully trying to see Trump fail, right? They don't want Trump to succeed because then, there's peace in the Middle East. There's, a lot of these programs that shouldn't be there are not being funded, and all these NGOs aren't being funded, and all of these terror groups aren't being funded. So in order to because you got to understand, bro, how can Israel have allegiance to America? They don't care about us. You think do you think Israel care about us? No. Every country cares about their country and their country's best interest, like in its totality. Not to say that, a country can't have allies or whatever the case may be. But when it comes down to it, bro, country cares about their people for the most part, right? And we're the only country that has been totally compromised in every way, bro. With every industry, the food industry, you name it, bro. Like, like we got the most, drug addicts, the most, the terrible food. Everything is artificial. It's just because we have people who don't, who don't give a fuck about this country, bro. They don't care about the people in it. And they want to try to kill us, whether it's slowly or abruptly. They don't care, bro. They want us all gone off of this planet, bro. And, anyway, I'm getting a little off, but my theory is that they want to see Donald Trump lose. And the goal is to get Democrats back in power because the Democrats were on board with all of the bullshit. They were funneling it. They were funding all of these fake programs and things like that. And these ISIS and Al Qaeda organizations or whatever. And the Democrats, let's be honest, are way more easier to control. Way more. They're definite puppets for sure. Look at what they're doing. Like, you see with all the fraud and all of that stuff. They're just robbing us. They don't care, bro. They don't care whatsoever. So I think that they, I think that they really want to see Donald Trump fail, man. Because just to see this guy Donald Trump go from just, like, he was on point, like, just, like, with everything. Like, you saw it. Like, he was on message. He was, and I'm talking about within a short period of time. So I'm like, yo, damn, look at what he's did in a year. Got 3 more to go. Like, he's going to be able to really turn things around. And then, boom, here comes BB. Oh, they got some underground bunkers, and they're going to be they're this close to hitting America. Come on, bro, stop, man. This stuff is crazy, bro, and it's out of control, bro. And I truly, honestly, bro, my opinion is this: somehow, some way, bro, Donald Trump got compromised, bro. Don't know how. I don't know if it's money. I don't know if he's in on it or what. I don't know what it is, bro. But it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Even when they hit these facilities in the beginning, right? You obliterated everything. And then you literally said that. Like, Donald Trump literally said, like obliteration. We obliterated everything. And then he didn't really get no slack for that, right? Nobody died, standing third. Boom, it was a strategic hit. They went in, boom, hit, they got out. Cool, right? So he got some flack for it, but it wasn't like it is now. To where they have to manipulate the media to say, oh, 100% of MAGA supports Donald Trump. And no, they don't. A lot of people don't support, bro. A lot of people, especially young people, do not support Israel at all. And they don't support going into the Middle East because they know what makes this time special. When they did it before and it was fake news and it was false information that made them go to Afghanistan. And they were there for how many years? Come on, bro.
We're kind of caught at a rock and a hard place because
It's crazy,
what
man.
power, who's going to believe us that the left is crazy when you got Trump casting this war over Iran and we losing, hopefully I'm wrong, thousands of American lives. I mean, what power will we have? I mean, the GOP is just ruining everything that we put on we gave them pretty much a silver spoon for them just to take over and for the next decade or two, for this country to start leaning more moderate and right. At the very least, more moderate, if not more Republican conservative. But now they painting this bad reputation over Republicans like we warmongers, we killing United States citizens in the streets with ICE. Yeah. And it's like, I mean, we can stay positive, do the best job we can. Hopefully, Trump can turn this thing around. Hopefully, because he has, 2.5, maybe 3 years left? Yeah, I don't know how he turns it around. This Iran war, how do you fix this? Yeah. It's not an easy fix. Yeah. You only been there, a month?
I predicted this. I'm not trying to brag. I mean, we already had the military assessments, plus I studied it. I agree with the assessment. That we've always known one of the main crisis points for America and the world will be this, that 90+% chance it would be regime change, 100% they block the strait. We can't stop them. Then we got to send in ground troops. They're belligerent. The head of their military says, please, we're waiting for this trap. This is insane. It's like sticking your hand in a lion's cage, or, punch it in the face, or climbing in with a gorilla or something. What do you think is going to happen here? So, and then I was against it. Even if I don't like the mullahs, it's a terrible idea. And now it's just off to the races.
Afghanistan is the perfect example. Yeah. What did we accomplish there? Nothing. We were there 2 decades. You think you're going to just wrap this up in Iran in a couple of months? And the longer this goes on, the entire economy of the entire world is going to tank. And that's just more ammunition for the Democrats to say, look at Trump's economy. Yep. Look at the gas prices. I mean, in California, there's gas prices around $8.
And that's what I'm saying. This is why for me, it really seems as though that there are, people around Trump who are looking to see him tank. They did it in his first term. He had a bunch of people he didn't know who was who and who really was firing people, all types of things, because he didn't know he could trust that, and things like that. So and now it's like how you go from just being on course, and even like I've seen him in the press conference, even with BB, and he was talking about the peace thing, and he seemed like he was really, behind the scenes pushing that. Like, look, bro, we're not doing all that, you know, and somehow, man, it changed, bro. It's so weird, bro.
A gallon. Here in Nevada, gas is approaching $6 a gallon. I mean, what power will we have if Trump keeps pushing this war? And I don't know, man.
And again, Fox News and everybody, they all spend the same talking point. Short-term pain for long-term gain. No, it builds into the inflation. Now about raising interest rates, that kills the whole plan, which would the bankers want. The bankers don't want Trump's recovery. So they got him to do this knowing it'll kill his economic recovery.
Right. You're exactly right. I don't know how he turns this around. Yeah. Maybe Alex, maybe he looks us like three idiots. We take over the Strait of Hormuz. Everything goes successful. There's minimal losses with our military, and he makes us like idiots. But I don't see that happening because Iran is like twice the military that
you just read my
Iraq
mind.
has.
I was about to say, I hope he succeeds. We'll be back in 60 seconds. Let's come back to that. Real leadership. Well, the entertaining, informative, and very popular Hodgetwins are simulcasting with us today. And again, for their viewers wondering what's going on, I'm on hundreds of radio stations. For the younger folks, that's called network radio and TV. Most networks on TV, 15, 20 minutes ads now. We only have about 7 or 8. And so many times when we go to break, people go, they went to break because there was a key thing being said there. No, those breaks are hard programmed in. Just want to be clear with everybody there. And that's why the regular listeners know that and laugh about it. But for younger folks, they just don't seem to understand it. But a lot of the radio stations don't carry the first 6, but I don't want to just fill that with ads, so we cover it on the internet. But some stations carried it. But I literally, this happened 3 or 4 times with you guys today. And because you are twins, I always get confused who's who, so I apologize. But the brother on the right was sitting there. He was saying, you guys will like wear name tags, seriously. But
got tired of that in 3rd grade.
No. But I'm serious. I was about to say, I don't want Trump to fail. I need him to succeed. I'm so sad about this. I hope I'm proven wrong, even though we've been proven right. And this turns around. We're not happy about this, but we're moral. We stand on things. We can't just have him run on something and do something and know it will be a disaster, and then it is a disaster, and then we're now Nazis and we're evil and all this. And you literally you got cut off by the break. Literally, word for word, what I was about to say, you started. So go back and repeat the start of what you were saying.
I hope he's gonna. I hope he's right. I hope we're the idiots. Yeah. I will want nothing more than to see us be victorious. Everything work out. Right. Peace in the Middle East. Everything's great here. Yeah. The golden age that Trump talked about he was going to usher in. Yeah. I hope that's the case. But there's not giving him much confidence when they start calling us neo-Nazis. Yeah. Fake MAGA is just
anybody that doesn't agree with, and that's the thing. That's why I said people literally like we understand why politicians. You're a Republican, so you got to play the fence. It is what it is, right? And you have some jump out there and disagree and stuff like that. Whatever. Some of them are really not even Republican; they're really Democrat. This guy's Republicans, whatever, right? But I'm talking about as far as citizens, bro. It's cool to be a conservative, and I'm a conservative for sure. Like, you know what I mean? But I don't really like to run on the Republican thing. I voted for Donald Trump. That doesn't mean that 10 years from now, if a Democrat comes along and they align with my interests, as far as economically and morally, that I won't vote for a Democrat. You know what I'm saying? Like, people got to get because listen, and this is what happens, and they talk about this. People will like me, I'm a prime example, right? I see like even Brian Maxwell, I see LV Nation, Officer Tape, all these guys talk about PBD podcast, talk about how Islam is the biggest threat to America and all of this garbage, right? But I still watch them because I don't have disdain or hatred for nobody. I don't need to. You know what I mean? And it doesn't mean that you don't have other things that I align with or that, discussions that I agree with. It's just on this specific topic and this specific thing, I don't agree with you, and you're wrong. You're just outright wrong. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But people will stop watching you, and oh, you're not MAGA, and like, bro, you gotta, listen. You can't say you're America first and then watch America literally be controlled by a foreign nation, bro. And like you can't like it's impossible. So my thing is this, bro. I'm gonna criticize Trump when I don't agree with him, bro. And you should too. It is what it is, bro. Tell me, if you could tell me how this Iran war benefits America, right? Positively, how this creates peace in the Middle East. Tell me how. And I agree with them. Listen, everybody, I hope everything goes well, but I just don't see how innocent people dying, children dying. I don't see how that benefits anybody, anybody, bro. It just, I don't see it. And you can have that mentality. Oh, it's us against them, and better them than us. The whole mentality, but bro, we could literally have peace in the world, bro. We literally can. If these leaderships really wanted it, we can have peace around the world. And America could literally have peace in the Middle East. And we should have had peace in the Middle East. And we actually did at one point, bro. Iran was actually an ally of ours. That's like, you know what I mean? Like, so these things that are going on, and this is design corruption, bro. Design corruption, bro.
There's no
It's,
need for that.
it's
We just got criticism. Yeah, you're using the same tactics as the left. Yeah,
Yup.
I'm a black guy. I'm supposed to be a Democrat. That's the way I'm supposed to think. I don't think that way. Yeah. I think for myself. I think as Keith Hodge. I don't think as a black guy. I don't think as a Republican. I face every situation objectively. I'm not going to grovel for Trump. Yeah. Every little thing he does. I'm not going to do that because
Right.
that's not the man I voted for.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm not a sycophant for the right. I mean, I voted for the right. I'm a Republican.
Right.
But I'm not just going to agree with everything you do.
Right.
Well, because the policies aren't truly populist or conservative or constitutional. We're not the ones that got off the reservation. They are.
Right. Exactly. Right. Like, I didn't actually leave the Democrat Party. They left me. I used to vote Democrat. I voted for Gore, Kerry. I know, dumb Negro, but I voted for these people, right? But they went so far left. Yeah. I'm like, I'm Christian. I'm pro-life. I'm pro-gun. Yeah. I'm a Republican now. Yeah. Now, when you just got a sliver of criticism for Trump,
Right.
all of a sudden, a lot of the people that support you, they try to call you fake MAGA. You're never Trump, or you're a neo-Nazi. Yeah, we had criticism for Trump, and we lost
It's crazy.
15,000 followers on Facebook that day alone. Lost 100,000 over all our social media, over 100,000 followers when we started criticizing them. And I was like, I'm like stuck. I'm like, I don't want to come in and just lie to make money and to grift. Yeah. That's not why I started my our political channels. I want to change the direction of this country. Yeah. It's not about the money. It's actually not about the followers. Yeah. It's about getting to what's true. Yeah. Yeah. What's best for this country.
No, I agree. Let me throw something in at people. I've been doing this 32 years, and I didn't. Nobody was really doing it like this. I came along.
And that's the beauty. That's the beauty in these social media platforms, that you got independent journalists, people like Alex Jones. Well, Alex Jones was actually a big journalist, but the Hodgetwins, you got Candace, and listen, bro, I don't agree with everything that anybody say. I know people wouldn't agree with everything I say, right? That's just the nature of the game. But it is a good thing that you have YouTube, you have X, you have Rumble, you have these different platforms that people can give their honest and truthful opinions on, or factual opinions on factual statements on events that's going on, bro. And that's the beauty in all of this is that it's the days of just telling people what they want to do or what to think. It's over, bro. It's over, bro. People don't have no faith in the news. We know a lot of these polls and things like that is all garbage, and it's programming, bro, at its finest, and it's crazy, man. But he gonna say something too that was a good.
As the internet kind of exploded, and I was self-trained. I just thought things were interesting. I wanted to tell people, so I never had some formula. Never had. When they've sued me, they're like, "Where's the formula? Who tells you what to say? Where's the strategy stuff?" I have interesting people on to cover news, but I never sat there. And whatever I like or whatever I use, I get as a sponsor, so I know it's great. I mean, it's just totally normal. But now that I watch how the left operates formulaically with lies, and then I see a lot of, obviously neocons are kind of the same establishment component, I see them using it on us, and it doesn't piss me off. It makes me sad because the neocons have been relegated now, and then somehow they've slipped back in because they've got Trump under their control. Yep. And absolutely, folks, I had the Democrats offer me $50 million a year to join them right before they sued me. People say, well, tell us what was off-record meetings. That's not illegal, so I don't have off-record meetings and then violate that. But they tried to buy me. And they said, listen, you're going to get sued and destroyed by groups. You got this one chance to come do this and work for us. And I said, no. Wow. They said, you made a big mistake. And so my point is, I've been there at the top. I've seen it. I know what it is. And but here's the deal. I never even thought about selling out. Don't even know how to sell out. But if you sold out the establishment 50 years ago, 20 years ago, you made money, you got power. It hurt civil society, it hurt civilization. Things got worse, but you were going to be okay. Now, I've made the point for years, and a lot of the elite listen to this and actually flip sides just out of survival mode. Right. You keep the globalist model. You think you're going to make everybody poor and kill most people and have a great reset? The people are going to rise up and destroy you because we're going to expose globalism as the author of it, so you can't pose as a savior. We were successful, all of us together, but this operation, at the center of it, just on record. That's why I'm under attack. If we expose the left of the globalists and they're bad, they then can't pose as saviors when they create crises for depopulation, total control, which is their main plan. Now they're in.
You heard what he said. Depopulation is their ultimate plan. And that's the truth. We've seen with Bill Gates with the vaccine and reproductive rights and all that stuff. Bro, I'm telling you, man. And look at it though. Look at it. Look at the food. A lot of shit, bro. They talked about it on here with I think they said in Europe or somewhere, a certain part of Europe, different countries in general, bro. A lot of stuff that they're doing here in America is illegal. It's illegal. They banned it. It's not in their food. Their food is food. They're giving us fucking cardboard and plastic and turning it into cheeseburgers. Why? Why are they doing this? Because they want to kill us. Like he said, this great reset, this globalist plan, this new world order situation, and it's just so much with it, bro. And this is why I say, this is why they want us divided. They don't want us coming together. They don't want us rising up and actually, taking back our freedom and our rights. They don't want that. They don't want that. They know the true power lies in the people. The Constitution starts with we, the people, we. Doesn't start with we, the president and politicians and everybody else. No, nigga, it starts with us, the people, this country. It doesn't function without. That's why they always cater to who? The working class, the middle class. That is the class that makes everything run. Because listen, yes, people become millionaires and billionaires. They innovate and create product and things like that. But without the workers producing it, you have no product. You know what I'm saying? You have no product. And it's all of this shit is deep, bro.
Checkmate on that. And then Trump was doing all this good stuff. creating a new order just out of ideas.
Right.
Then they went, screw that, let's just go with power and take over the globalist system. So now he's creating the new world order. They're even saying that, and it's absolutely insane. So my message to people that want to ride the fence or join the establishment, it's a suicide mission. At this point, even evil people should be going for good because you're going to be destroyed by it. But evil can't help it. It's their nature. So I want you to speak to that idea of what I'm saying is now no one that can look at what's coming next should not be promoting freedom and justice and prosperity and transparency because that's the only way out of this.
Yeah, when you look at Fox News, you see that poll about MAGA 100% agreeing with Operation Stupid or Operation Forget About Epstein. You seen Lindsey Graham at that rally getting booed. I mean, everybody knows these polls are fake. I've sit down and talked to other Republicans and talked to people that's in the conservative movement. And just the other day at my brother's church, a guy came up to him, do not slow down. Keep pushing on this war. We did not vote for this. Everybody I talked to that voted for Trump is upset with them. So when he ran that poll on CNN that 100% of MAGA supports this war, I was like, it's just a blatant lie in front of everybody.
Yeah, and why would CNN of all networks put up that poll? How much pull does Trump have with these news networks? I used to think that was all lies.
Yeah.
Yep. And bro, and we see it. We see it with these politicians like Lindsey Graham. We see his undying allegiance to Jews and Israel. Well, let's say Israel, you know, because not all Jews are bad, bro. You know, it's just these you know, these people that are in Israel, bro. BB and his crew. And, you know, you see Ted Cruz, their undying loyalty, bro. Like, they will do anything for Israel. Anything, bro. They have no allegiance to America, bro. These people are Israelis disguised as U.S. politicians, bro. These people, yo, it's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
No. He didn't have pull before. He didn't have pull before. He didn't know about the Smith-Mundt Act and its repeal. He didn't know about not just Operation Mockingbird, but the actual National Security Stabilization Acts. And
so hold on real quick so you know what this is, because it's very important, bro. Very, very important. The Smith-Mundt Act of 1948. Okay. So let me see. Okay. So it was officially known as the United States Information and Educational Exchange Act of 1948, is a U.S. law that established the legal framework for American public diplomacy and international broadcasting, including the Voice of America, right? Developed in early Cold War, the act authorized the State Department to communicate with foreign audiences to promote understanding of the United States and counter propaganda from opposing nations, right? So it says key purpose, right? To promote a better understanding of the United States abroad and strengthen international relations. Okay, so then it says the domestic ban. The domestic ban. The original act, often amended later, included a de facto prohibition on the domestic dissemination of information intended for foreign audiences. This was intended to prevent the government from using foreign-focused propaganda on the American public, on domestic, right? Domestic ban. You know what I mean? So basically, the let me see. So let's take let me see. Okay. Okay, so you know the Smith-Mundt Act was repealed, and it said it removed the ban on domestic dissemination, allowing the State Department and the Broadcasting Board of Governors, BBG, now the USAGM, to make the foreign targeted programming available in the U.S. upon request. So, bro, let me see. National. So it says Smith-Mundt Act 1948 was it wasn't it says was not repealed but rather amended. And I think that was changed. But anyway, rather amended by Congress through the Smith-Mundt Modernization Act of 2012, who was in office, which was included in the National Defense Authorization Act, the N.D.L.A. for fiscal year 2013, and signed into law by President Barack Obama on January 2nd, 2013. So, and it says, what did the amendment do? The 2013 amendment removed the prohibition on domestic dissemination of media produced by the U.S. agencies for global media, such as the Voice of America, allowing these materials to be made available to Americans upon request. So that all sounds good, but really what it did was make these people be able to domestically uh, create propaganda and lie and all of these things, bro.
Things.
It's deep, bro.
That's how Obama kept control of the media. Even when Trump was in, he didn't know. And by the way, I don't think it's good for Trump to run the media. But when he's like, I'll just take the license of, ABC or whatever as a late night comic, people go, that's crazy. That's tyranny. Well, yeah, they can actually do it. And he's been removing executives, blocking mergers. So they are now censoring people booing Trump at the World Cup or whatever. And so it is happening. So the point is, Trump had this time, the advisors came and said, actually, sir, here's the keys of control. You see. So no, he never controlled the media before. It was the opposite. Now he's starting to actually get control of it. Yep. You see. But what he doesn't get is it's a dead horse. Almost no one watches it or believes it.
Yep.
But then you see Caroline Levitt saying, X is not the real world. Nothing real happens there. You mean video of an earthquake or videos of a missile hitting Israel or video of Trump talking?
Right. And that's what they try to do. They try to make it seem like, the news that you should be watching CNN and MSNB and MS Now and NBC. They're the ones that's going to give you the truth and the facts and the real. Fuck out of here, bro. These people, most of them, and even include Fox, bro. Listen, bro. We need you guys to push this. This is what we need. This needs to be pushed. We need the American people to support this, that, and the third. This is what they do, bro. This is what they do. It's programming at its highest level. But the good thing is that most people don't even watch it no more. I'm watching the Hodgetwins. I'm watching Alex Gomes. I'm watching Brian. I'm watching an array of different people giving me information because they're doing their due diligence, and and that's what you do, bro. A lot of people nowadays, bro, they're going to X, they're going to TikTok, they're going to YouTube, they're going to Rumble for their news and for their information. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to MS Now, bro. Baby boomers maybe, but yeah.
Some of it's real. Most of it's real. Some of it's crap. But it's actually the free, openest channels there are in Rumble.
Right.
And so the idea that, it's just all fake. We don't care what's happening there. X and Rumble and all that stuff. YouTube has more video views than everything else in the world combined.
Yep.
So don't sit there and tell me, it's not real. All it is more people with more cameras showing more stuff they don't control.
Yep. And that's what it's about, control. And they don't have total control on on these online spaces. And shout out to Elon Musk, bro, because Elon Musk buying X was a great thing. And side note, they talked about him possibly buying OnlyFans just to shut it down. Shout out to Elon Musk if he does do that. You know what I'm saying? We don't know if he's gonna do it, but buying X was a very, very great thing because he created a space where people can actually put out news and their thoughts and things like that. And they could call it fake news because they want to control. That's the thing. When they start losing control, when they start losing the people, that's when it becomes a problem for them. You heard Bibi Netanyahu straight up tell you, what's the biggest, forget how he worded it, but, what's the biggest thing that we need to, no, he was talking about basically like weapons, right? And saying that how social media can be used as a weapon, which it can be, right? So he's saying, the biggest weapon right now is what? And he said TikTok. He said TikTok. A lot of people on TikTok, people on X, people on social media platforms, period. So they need to control the narrative on these social media platforms, bro. And that's what they want to do. So hey, man, and I'm telling you, if the Democrats get back in office, bro, oh my God, it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like he ran on draining the swamp. It feels like he's the king of the swamp now. I may be totally wrong in saying that, but that's what it feels like. Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
Yeah,
we've heard of the
it just
swamp
feel like
thing
total
in a movie.
betrayal.
It says it's a swamp king.
Yeah, and then you got Don Bongoyo. He goes on with the FBI, and then he says the thing dearest and closest to his heart is Israel.
so
Same thing for Ted Cruz.
Yep,
It's like
Ted Cruz
what
said the same thing.
we're occupied. It's like,
Yep.
and then people try to defend that we're not occupied by this foreign agent, and they always say how Russia meddles in our elections and this and well, what are you talking about? We are occupied by Israel. They run all our foreign policy.
Yeah, you don't get you don't win elections in the Senate or Congress without AIPAC support. I mean,
Yep.
it's very difficult to do. I think a majority of people that's in office right now, besides the Robert Massey, everyone else has taken money from AIPAC. Without that AIPAC money, you can't really win an election. And for us to be that close with a foreign nation is just a conflict of interest. And for them to keep telling us that they are our greatest ally, at this point, I think they're our biggest liability because being in bed with Israel and going to funding these foreign wars is just increasing our national deficit at a rate that, you know, we're never going to pay off. We're going to be bankrupt.
Man, whenever I had friends that got in a lot of fights and a lot of trouble,
Yeah.
and they brought that trouble my way, I would cut them off.
Yeah.
Seriously. But Israel's brought us into all these wars.
Yeah.
They brought us into Iran.
Yeah.
And it's like, and they keep pushing this, they're our biggest ally. It's just political spin because they own this country.
Yeah.
They own Trump. They're running Trump.
Yeah.
Bibi went to the White House I don't know how many times. I mean, what's up with these fake videos? Is this guy dead or alive?
Yeah. A lot of AI videos.
These AI videos that's coming out. Like, I seen his ring like virtually disappear.
Right.
And then he had that cup of coffee, and it's like it's about to spill the whole time, but it never spills. He drinks from it, and it stays the exact same way. Why are they putting these videos out?
Yeah, and for Fox News to keep pushing this idea, I mean, I know radical Islam can be an issue.
Yes.
I mean, radical Christianity can be an issue.
Thank you.
I got Muslim friends, and I think we have a lot of things in common with them. Like they have a lot of high regard for Jesus and the Virgin Mary. We have things in common with these people. It's like we have nothing in common with
Well, you
Jews
raise
and-
this.
I'm happy to see somebody has said this, bro. Because it's just a fact. This is not an opinion. This is not my opinion. And this is not even their opinion, right? This is a fact. And the one thing that I liked that he said before he even made that comment was, bro, the same way you have radical Islam, you have radical Christians and radical Jews and radical whatever, Asians, whatever you want to, is people that's evil all across the board. But to try to make it seem like, oh, Islam is the biggest threat to America. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Bro, and just like he said, Muslims hold Jesus in high regard, which we do. May peace be upon him. You know, and the Jews don't. They don't, bro. And I'm so happy that they said that, bro. And it's just a fact. It's just a fact. So you got to ask the question of why. Why does America, why does Trump right now have so much allegiance to? I can see the Democrats. I can see them, they don't care. They just want to sell us out. They don't give a fuck. But I'm just like, damn, bro. Trump was the one person, and I've said this multiple times in early videos, Donald Trump is a billionaire. Donald Trump is in these rooms. He's been in these rooms already. So I really, really felt as though Donald Trump, wasn't a puppet and that he wasn't compromised in no way and that he was doing what he wanted to do and that just what it was, right? And I feel like that's what it was in the beginning. But this last couple months has just been weird, bro. It's just like blatant lies and not telling the truth about, bro, it's just like, it's so weird. I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. And I think that trips most people out that do support Donald Trump. it's just like, why do you have so much allegiance to this goddamn country? It's always like make you mad, bro. Because at the end of the day, bro, you know, like you're dragging us into this because we're paying for it. Donald Trump ain't paying for this damn war. You know, Republicans aren't paying for this damn war. Democrats aren't paying for this war. We are. We are. So the bloodshed, you know, that's on our hands, bro. You know, it may be indirectly, but still, bro. Like this stuff is so demonic, bro.
Earlier, and I didn't get to it all. So later on X and
Yeah.
Rumble, we'll take the end of the last hour and sandwich this piece in for people so they get what I was going to say. You have to understand, you read the Quran, it's all about how he came in and took over Medina and then Mecca, and how to act like you're a friend, say you're a friend, and once you get to a certain number, start stabbing and killing people till you push people out till you get control of the area. And 100 years after he died, he controlled, you know, hundreds of
Alex Jones is lying. That's a lie, bro. And you didn't read that in the Quran. You're lying, bro.
thousands of square miles, millions of
Alex
square miles.
Jones, but this is what I hate, bro. This is what I dislike. This is what I dislike, and I like Alex Jones, bro. You know, I think he's a great journalist. But my thing is this, bro. I hate when people just speak on, you know, religions and they don't know what they're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. But Alex Jones, you just said something that was so dumb. It's so dumb, bro.
And then you know about the Crusades, response to 700 years of Islamic invasion. So people want to make it you're with Israel or you're with the Muslims. Israel founded Hamas because they were radical to destabilize so they wouldn't get a good government in the West Bank with the Palestinian Authority, so they would have an excuse to keep blowing them up. Doesn't mean they ran Hamas, but they founded it. They stood down on October 7th. Here is John Loftus, is an American author, former high-level U.S. government prosecutor, former Army intelligence officer. I've interviewed him many years ago. Here he is. He was like number 2 in counterterrorism under multiple administrations. Here he is explaining that the Muslim Brotherhood and all of it is run by the CIA. And then Obama funded the Arab Spring. So the globalists are up.
Now, understand this. Understand what he's saying, right? Understand what he's saying. He's not saying, like, this is what people need to understand. Islam, like these extreme Muslims, these so-called Muslim leaders in these countries don't represent the whole of Islam, bro. They just don't. That's like saying, you know, Bibi Netanyahu represents Jews all across the world. You know what I'm saying? Like this is not. It's just not it. You feel me? So you know these you know the CIA or any British intelligence or whoever that's funding these Islamic groups, right? That ain't got nothing to do with Islam, bro. That's nothing to do with it at all, bro.
Up above all of that, and they're creating this clash. And they run Al Qaeda, they run ISIS, they run Boko Haram, and then because they don't want the Muslims having reform groups like the UAE, they want it to be the super hardcore crazies.
Right. Notice what he just said, like the UAE. You go to the people. I want to go to the UAE. I would move to the UAE. Beautiful educational system, top notch, safe, like everything. You know, you go to Dubai. People talk about going to Dubai. It's beautiful. All of these different things. Like they want to try to make Islam like they want to try to make it seem like Islam is not a beautiful religion. Like there isn't beautiful Muslim countries. Like Muslim countries are just shitholes and everything. That's what they do, bro. That's what they do. You know what I'm saying? And this is why, bro. We need to. Yeah, man. Never mind.
And Democrats, see, so there's a sophistication here. So this is a short clip. It's actually 10 minutes long. I'm not going to play the whole thing. This is former deputy head of counterterrorism, John Loftus. Here it is.
My name is John Loftus. I was an Army officer, a federal prosecutor at the headquarters of the Justice Department in Washington. And then I worked for the Office of Special Investigations, which was...
We're going to end it after this. I don't want my video to drop. I want to end the show. But we're going to end it after this this little clip right here.
The Nazi War Crimes Unit that was set up during the Carter and Reagan administrations. And unfortunately, I discovered that many of the Nazis had been assigned to prosecute were already on the government payroll. So ended up being a whistleblower. And in 1982...
Notice what he said. He said that he was assigned... Let's go back. One more.
Office of Special Investigations,
Special Investigations,
which was the Nazi War Crimes
Nazi War Crime Unit.
that was set up during the Carter and Reagan administrations.
Carter and Reagan administration.
And unfortunately, I discovered that many of the Nazis had been assigned.
Many of the Nazis have been assigned to what?
To prosecute were already on the government payroll. So
were already on the government payroll. These people were within inside of the government.
Ended up being a whistleblower. And in 1982, I appeared on an Emmy Award-winning segment of 60 Minutes. Mike Wallace got the Emmy Award. My family got the death threats. It was a great trade-off.
Mike Wallace, I think you should just be quiet.
And, after that, I went to private practice in law in Boston and set up my own law firm for a while. But over the years, I've become a private lawyer for whistleblowers. And I charge my clients $1 a piece. I'm the worst paid lawyer in America, but among the better informed. In order to be a client, you have to have a security clearance above top secret. I had a Q clearance for nuclear weapons secrets, an SI clearance, which is the wiretapping NSA clearance, and a cosmic clearance for everything in NATO that was top secret and above.
Damn.
So I could read the British intelligence files and the Dutch intelligence files, as well as the American files. And so I was the first person in a half a century that was able to go through the classified vaults where all these old intelligence files are stored. And they're stored out in Suitland, Maryland, an interesting place. There are 20 security vaults underground, like bank vaults. And each vault is 1 acre in size. It's a little bit of, remember the last scene of Raiders of the Lost Ark? Well, that's what the underground vaults are like, only not as organized. But I was looking for something unique, not just for files about Nazi war criminals, but evidence that might suggest that the hunt for Nazi war criminals had been obstructed. Evidence that the trials had been fixed. My first boss was a prosecutor of the Nuremberg trials, the bankers' trial. And he was the one who told me that he thought the trials had been fixed, that resources were taken away from him and the other people.
All right, let's stop right here. I sent the crew today 160-something clips, and I sent them a different Loftus clip. I have a clip here that we'll add in post for X and Rumble, where the Dulles family, deep state department, I think it's later in the clip, but it was a shorter version, and CIA created, he's giving you background here, so it's fascinating. I've seen the full clip. The House of Saud, which was it was OSS before that, and the MI5 took over control of the post-World War II Muslim Brotherhood Nazis, which created groups like Boko Haram, Al-Qaeda, Taliban, Syrian Kurdish rebels, Mujahideen, N.G.L.A, ISIS, ISIL,